guys, so today I'm going to show you how to repurpose a sign that maybe you find at Target, Walmart, maybe you find it at Hobby Lobby. This one was on super good clearance and it's just basic construction. I could probably just build it myself, but I think it's kind of fun to repurpose things. So I am going to walk you guys through just how to repurpose this and make it into a farmhouse sign. So I have here some 120 grit sandpaper and just a basic sander here, an electric sander. So I am going to use that to hopefully get all this blue off, and then I will paint it and get started. So I'm just taking a paintbrush that I have here and I'm just dusting off all of the excess here. And I highly recommend that you not do this unless you have some kind of protective eyewear and a mask. Masks are going to keep you from breathing in the fumes, and then, you know, the eyeglasses are going to keep you from getting all of this dust in your eyes. So that's definitely something I recommend when doing this. I just use sunglasses and one of my many masks that I have laying around the house. As you can see, there's just dust all over the work surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that up, and then I will get started on the next step. Okay, so I am going to stain this a pretty dark walnut color. And so I have some Minwax wood finish penetrating stain, semi-transparent dark walnut. This is a favorite color of mine for doing farmhouse style projects. I have just some disposable gloves. That's really important because I'm kind of messy when it comes to staining. And then you're gonna want just a basic throwaway rag. You can buy a giant pack of these at a local hardware store, but this is what I like to apply my stain with. I just have a little flathead screwdriver here. That's just what I had laying around. Look how dark and beautiful that color is. Okay, so I am just gonna kind of bunch my rag together and dip it in a can. Just a little goes a long way, so start with a little. We want to go in the direction of the grain. And you want to start with a even top coat, and if you want it to be darker, you can always do a second coat, but this specific stain is already pretty dark as it is. It's going to be so beautiful. I'm going to add some white lettering on top. Another option is you can always paint the stain white, or paint the sign white. You can use just like some paint and maybe add some black lettering. Today I was just feeling dark brown. That's what I wanted to go for. I think it looks super high end, especially since it's a little bit of a cheaper sign. All right, so I'm just gonna finish staining this out. Okay, so I'm back and I let my board sit overnight. As you can see, it's dry and ready to go. I actually sprayed some clear crystal Krylon. It's just an acrylic coating spray. I just want to make sure that the wood isn't quite as porous as it is. So when I apply my chalk paint, it's not going to absorb it too much. So I'm just going to dust it off a little bit. It's been sitting in my garage and the door's open, and so it just kind of collected a little bit of dust, and I want to make sure that dust is completely cleared off before putting my design on. So today I'm going to be doing and thank you for a house full of people I love. And if you remember, this sign was originally long, and I'm just going to put some hardware on it so I can make it horizontal instead. So this is a Chalk Couture transfer. It's a silk screen transfer, and it is, in my opinion, easier than using like vinyl lettering from a Cricut machine. I feel like this is just a simpler and faster method. Not to mention that this is a reusable transfer, so I can use it for between 8 and 12 different signs if I want to. It's got a sticky side here, and so it's very important when you are using a transfer, especially for the first time, that you lighten the adhesive. And so what I'm going to do is just put it onto this towel I have here, and that's just gonna, what we like to call, fuzz the transfer. It's just gonna grab a little bit of fuzz from my towel so that when I put it on my board, it's not going to like stick like a sticker. It's gonna make it to where it's removable. So I want to lift this up and do it a couple of times. Okay, so I feel like it's been fuzzed enough. Maybe this isn't as linty of a towel as I had originally thought it was, so I had to do it a couple more times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this transfer very carefully on my sign. I'm going to make sure it's centered, and then I'm going to press it down. Let's see. I could get out my measuring tools, but I like to wing it most of the time. That looks good to me. So I want to make sure to press it down around all of the letters. And this is going to be a little bit more of an interesting sign because there are some holes in the wood. So obviously there's going to be some areas where the chalk paste doesn't fully adhere to the sign, but I think that will just add to the rustic nature of the sign. Okay, so now that I feel like that's adhered pretty well, I'm going to pull up my chalk paste, and I use Chalkology Paste. Can you see that? Chalkology Paste by Chalk Couture. They just reformulated their chalk paste, so I feel like it's extra creamy. It's very smooth. I haven't had any issues with it yet, and so this is what I want to use. I'm just going to stir it. It just kind of preps the chalk paste. As you can see, it's super creamy, a wonderful consistency there. And I'm going to take a squeegee, and I'm going to run this squeegee along my board, and that's going to apply the chalk paste. And all of the letters, I'll do a little close up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but all the letters have a screen. So it's like a mesh screen that allows the chalk paste to flow right through it. But this just helps to minimize bleeding. So unlike using a stencil where you're going to have more bleeding issues, this will just give you a really clean application. So I'm just going to take about so, and I'm going to start running this down my board. Okay, now I'm going to peel up this transfer, and this is the best part. This is the reveal where we get to see how our project adheres. It's so pretty. Okay, so because I have a sign with some spaces, it just didn't fully take some of the letters, which is fine. That's something to take into account. But I think it still turned out really pretty. We have, and thank you, Laura, and thank you for a house full of people I love. I still think it's a really pretty sign, especially considering what it looked like before. So let's look at this. It's my little farmhouse sign, and I think I love it.